Hi, very good evening to everyone whosoever is watching this. And today, on the behalf of the entire KSG, I am welcoming the shining star of India, the 95th rank, Mr. Vinayak. And we'll try to decode his enigma and his strategy, his take about this examination. Everything we'll try to decode from his personality and how he kept on in this tough time. So I welcome you, Vinayakji, from the behalf of entire KSG, and I congratulate you for securing a wonderful rank, that is 95. And entire KSG feel proud in announcing that we have certain association with you in your journey for the civil services examination. So first of all, I just wanted to ask a very cliche and normal question.
Thank you. First of all, thank you so much for having me here. And secondly, thank you for congratulating me. And thirdly, thank you KSG, especially Khan sir, for boosting my confidence last year also and this year also for my personality test experiences.
Okay, thank you. So my first question is, how did you know that your name is in the list? Who gave you that beautiful information of your life, that your years are waiting for long?
Actually, as everybody knew that result is around the corner and it might be declared in 15-20 minutes. But it was not declared at 4 o'clock. So I was very anxious from 3 in the afternoon. So I kept my mobile, on silent mode, and I went somewhere at the lake and I just sat there till 5:30. I came back home and I checked my mobile. There was no result. So I thought result is not going to come today. So I just I just went for a bath, and as soon as I came from bath, my phone started ringing, and one of my roommates, my UPSC preparation roommate, he called me that भाई तू IAS बन गया है. तो फिर that was like मुझे लगा कि वो मजाक कर रहा है, but that was true. He told me the rank also. Then I opened the PDF and I searched my name. So फिर yes, it was one of my associate only, my UPSC friend, who called me and congratulated me the first.
Okay, so this is the news which broke out to you in this the way. Which is the first person you rang, like either your parents or your friend, who you said first that I am through now? No need for
Actually,
giving.
Luckily, what had happened that I was at home. Both my mom and dad were at home, and in the past 4 years, whenever I passed or whenever I failed, I was somewhere outstation or somewhere not with the parents. So I could not, I could not tell them my grief. Like there is a short period of time जब आपको बहुत बुरा लगता है या बहुत खुशी होती है. तो फिर जब मेरा जो बुरा लगता था जो फेल होने के बाद, वो मैं अपने पेरेंट्स के साथ शेयर नहीं कर पाया था लास्ट ईयर, बिकॉज मैं मेडिकल एग्जामिनेशन के लिए गया था और रिजल्ट आया था और मैं फेल हो गया था फाइनल आफ्टर इंटरव्यू रिजल्ट्स. तो फिर मैं उनको शेयर नहीं कर पाया था. बट दिस ईयर लकीली आई वाज एट होम. Both my mom and dad were at home. I was sitting in my room and I was studying for prelims itself, because prelims was around the corner. And as soon as I came to know the result, I just shouted to my mom and dad that आपका बेटा IAS बन गया अभी, and the journey has ended. So my mom and dad literally started crying. I also could not control my tears. We cried almost for 10-15 minutes because it has been a long journey for me. 5-6 years of preparation, 5 attempts, not clearing prelims, going to the interview but not making into the list. But yes, I'm lucky that my parents were with me at the time of result, and I shared my moments of utmost happiness with my parents. And जो खुशी के आंसू होते हैं उनकी आंखों में, वो देखने के बाद मतलब है कि सब कुछ पा लिया अभी, ऐसा लग रहा था बस.
क्या बात है, बहुत अच्छा बोला आपने. You can write a book on this. मम्मी आपका बेटा IAS बन गया. Very good, quotation you can say. And yes, I also congratulate your parents, because in this journey I have been across many students, and sometimes they feel like parent support is missing somewhere. They have to fight alone, and you are very lucky. I must say that your parents supported through thick and thin of your journey, and that's a wonderful thing to have in your life. Your parents
actually yes, my parents supported. और इसमें ये भी है कि आपको आपके पेरेंट्स को पता होना चाहिए कि हाउ हार्ड यू आर वर्किंग. तो फिर I was studying at home itself, so they knew that हाउ मच एफर्ट्स आई एम पुटिंग इन. तो फिर कंटिन्यूअसली 3-4 सालों से मैं इतना पढ़ाई कर रहा हूँ, नॉट वेस्टिंग टाइम, नॉट यूजिंग मोबाइल, नॉट मीटिंग फ्रेंड्स, सो continuously in my room and again studying, following the same schedule again and again. तो उनको पता था कि अपना बेटा बहुत ज्यादा एफर्ट कर रहा है, तो फिर समवेयर दे हैड अ बिलीफ कि नहीं ये कर पाएगा और ये कर लेगा, और इस बिलीफ की वजह से ही अपने पेरेंट्स सपोर्ट करते हैं. क्योंकि मैंने जब भी देखा है जिनके पेरेंट्स सपोर्ट नहीं करते, सीन वही होता है कि बच्चे उतना सीरियसली प्रिपेयर नहीं करते रहते हैं. बट जब आपके पेरेंट्स को खुद को पता होता है कि योर सन इज putting his blood and soul into his preparation, blood is sweating every day, तो फिर उनको भी पता होता है कि हमें सपोर्ट करना चाहिए. एंड थोड़ा सा फाइनेंशियल कंडीशन भी मैटर करती है, बट आई डोंट थिंक दैट ऐसे भी कोई पेरेंट्स हो गए जिनको ऐसा नहीं लगेगा कि अपना बेटा आईएएस ना बने. तो फिर मोस्टली तो मुझे लगता है सब सपोर्ट करते ही है. जो सपोर्ट नहीं करते उनके कुछ तो रीजंस होंगे, या फिर बच्चों की मेहनत कम पड़ती होगी, मुझे ऐसा लगता है.
Maybe. Well said. Now, I just want to focus on three aspects of this examination since it's a three-tier exam. The first one is prelims. So, in what is the most difficult phase in this three-phase examination according to you? Which is the most difficult? Is it pre or mains or interview?
It varies from person to person, but if you consider the subjectivity of the examination, prelims has become a hurdle for many people. Also, CSAT difficulty has increased. So I think prelims is the biggest eliminator. If you are not into the process of writing prelims, mains, and interview, it acts like, it might develop self-doubt in yourself if you are not clearing prelims again and again. So prelims is the toughest thing, because in mains, if you write mains, you get your scorecard, you get your marks subject wise, and you can improve like what worked for you, what did not work for you. But for prelims, it is not like that. And if you fail prelims, आपको ये आगे खुद को इंट्रोस्पेक्ट एनालाइज करने का मौका नहीं मिलता है. तो फिर मुझे लगता है कि प्रीलिम्स ही ज्यादा टफ गेम है. एक्चुअली इट इज नॉट टफ, बट इट इज मोर कॉम्पिटिटिव. सबसे ज्यादा कंपटीशन प्रीलिम्स के लिए है.
Yes, I think unpredictability of the prelims is making the task tougher for the aspirants year after
Yes,
year.
yes.
So what
Yes,
was
yes.
your approach with regard to the paper one of the prelims, that is GS paper one?
Actually, I could not clear prelims in first 3 attempts. So मुझे भी बहुत ज्यादा burden था कि I am lacking somewhere, or I used to miss cut off by 0.66 or 1 mark in all the 3 attempts. So somewhere I was like, my approach is right, but my technique is a little bit wrong, or I need to improve on my technique. Because if you are scoring somewhere around cutoff, it is just a matter of 1 question or 2 question. But in my 3 attempts, what I realized that first 2 attempts I was very bookish. Like I used to think that I have to read these 10, 12, 15 books. I have to revise them again and again, and then I'll clear the exam. So I had that approach, but that approach doesn't work here. My focus on analyzing the demand of the examination through the previous year questions, or they say you have to get into the mode of exam setter, like what examiner is trying to get from you. Like from some questions they are checking your decision taking abilities, some questions they are checking your temperament, some questions they are checking your fact. So मैंने इतना कभी सोचा नहीं था प्रीलिम. मुझे सब सिर्फ लगता था कि बुक पढ़ो, रिवाइज करो और क्लियर हो जाएगा. तो फिर ऐसे नहीं था. तो फिर ये सबसे बड़ी गलती थी. एंड सेकेंडली फिर ये था कि प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस आई यूज्ड टू डू, बट उनमें डेप्थ नहीं था. आई डिड नॉट डू देम विद अ प्रॉपर डेप्थ. आई जस्ट यूज्ड टू सॉल्व द प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन. एंड ऐसे होता है ना कि बहुत बार क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करो तो आपको आंसर पता चल जाता है कि ओके इस क्वेश्चन का आंसर ये है. तो फिर बट इट डज नॉट वर्क. यू हैव टू गो 1 step 2 step ahead कि why this question has been asked, why these options have been given, what I should read more about these questions. और प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन मैंने सॉल्व किए थे, मैंने एनालाइज नहीं किए थे, और उसका यूज कैसे हो सकता है वो सोचा नहीं था पहले 3 अटेम्प्ट में. लेकिन 4th और 5th अटेम्प्ट में मैंने वो अच्छे से सोचा था, उस पर वर्क किया था, पेरिफेरल एरियाज पे वर्क किया था. क्योंकि प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन से ये है कि आपको पता चलता है कि इन विच एरियाज यू हैव टू dwell मोर, in which areas your superficial knowledge will work, in which areas you need factual knowledge, in which areas you have to guess. You cannot always, in science and tech, you cannot study each and everything, but there your guessing capabilities should be developed. Or in ancient, you cannot read everything, but so there you need to develop your logic. In polity, your conceptual clarity helps you. So in environment, your peripheral knowledge helps you. So this has come to me with a lot of experience and with 3 failures. So these were the mistakes, and also my number of attempts were very less in the first 3 attempts. I don't know why, but I used to attempt only 75, 80 questions. But in last 2 attempts, I attempted more than 95 questions, and that also helped me.
Okay. So I think your approach in a nutshell, if what I could figure out is going through the previous year question papers and not only going through it, analyze them, what they want to ask, which area
Yes,
needs
yes,
real strength, and which area your superficial knowledge will work. So it's a very
yes,
scientific study that you have done.
yes.
Now, since you yourself said that the CSAT is, sort of becoming more and more difficult, and it's a game changer for many. Those who clear GS paper one, they're not able to clear CSAT two. So, what was your strategy to deal with the CSAT with the rising difficulty year after year? What you did to clear the CSAT? Are you comfortable with the CSAT in the earlier attempts, or you have to
Yes,
do
yes, yes.
something extra?
In all my attempts, I have scored more than 100 or around 100 marks in CSAT. But last year CSAT was very difficult. Last year I did not study for CSAT. I scored some 97 marks. But many of my friends could not clear CSAT last year despite scoring more than 100 in GS. So I was skeptical this year because I did not want to experience that. So this year I had specifically worked on CSAT also. Like CSAT में ये बहुत जरूरी है कि what is your strong area, that is very important. जो BA ऑनर्स वगैरह होता है या इंग्लिश मीडियम से पढ़े होते हैं उनके लिए कॉम्प्रिहेंशन इज लिटिल बिट इजियर. थोड़ा इंजीनियरिंग बैकग्राउंड हो, अगर टेक्निकल माइंडसेट हो, तो फिर रीजनिंग एंड एप्टीट्यूड क्वेश्चंस आर देयर स्ट्रांग पॉइंट. सो question paper is very scientifically designed, and there are 35-40 questions on comprehension and 35-40 questions on aptitude and reasoning. So aptitude and reasoning was my strong part. So I tried to work more on that aspect, like what questions UPSC is asking again and again. It is asking questions on direction. It is asking question on relations. It is asking questions on some cubes, or if it is asking question on reasoning, like in which floor who stays, or so logical reasoning. I tried to solve few previous year questions itself. I did not do any course or anything else, but I solved 2 test papers of CSAT, and from them I analyzed that my logical reasoning and aptitude is strong. So in the final paper also I first solved those part, because comprehension ऐसा है कि आप जितना भी पढ़ो, अगर आपको समझ में नहीं आ रहा है तो फिर that is waste of your time. But in aptitude and reasoning, you get a concrete answer, like you know that this is the answer. So even if you answer 30 correct questions in aptitude and reasoning, then you are clearing with 75 marks. So my focus on one was working on my strengths, and in comprehension I attempted only those questions where I thought that it is the perfect and it is the correct answer.
Okay, I think it's a very smart way to eliminate the thing in which because see, all the 80 questions is very difficult to do, but
Yes.
just knowing your strength and working on them, and very
And also
yes,
we have to score only 66 marks, so that
yes,
is not a big
papers.
deal if you work in this smart way. If you are like solving all the questions, or you are solving very few questions, then that might land you in trouble. But I think अगर sincerely prepare किया है तो फिर CSAT किसी का नहीं रहेगा. Generally CSAT उन्हीं का रहता है, those who ignore, or those who are overconfident, or those who keep CSAT at the end, like I'll do it at the end. तो फिर वैसा नहीं करना चाहिए समझ लो.
I think one must practice CSAT. That is what you want
Yes,
to suggest to the aspirants. Fine. Now coming
yes.
to the main juggernaut of the UPSC, that is mains, because there are 9 papers that you have to give. So my question is whether you did a lot of answer writing, or you relied only on the test series. What was your take on the mains? Especially I'm talking about the combined 3 paper. I'll talk about the ethics separately. So what was your take about the paper 1, 2, 3 of the GS mains?
See, when we start this preparation in first year itself, we get to know that what your answer writing style is, and do you have that skill or not, or you need to develop that. So in the beginning itself, I was recommended by many people that, or I was complimented by many people that I write well. So 3 attempts I was not able to clear prelims. but that does not mean that I did not study for mains. I tried to utilize all the 3 attempts to consolidate my notes, to revise them. And you will be surprised to know that in my both mains, I did not join any test series, not even a single test series I joined. I did not join any test series, any neither coaching test series nor some other test series. I did not join test series, but my focus was on brainstorming much and writing in rough books as much as possible, because I knew that, as you already told, that there are 9 papers, there are almost 350 to 400 different themes and areas which we need to study and which we need to recall at the end moment in the exam hall. So my more focus was on revising and brainstorming. So whatever I used to study according to syllabus point, I used to give 3-4 hours for revising them. And almost my 5-6 rough books were filled in during those 3 months from the prelims to mains. 300 pages books, six books I have completely written in the rough. Like I did not used to write in a timed manner, like I have to solve this question in 6 minutes. But my focus was on how can I make my answer best. Like if there is a particular topic they are asking, then what extra I can give apart from the basic things. It not like many people do, they miss the basic things and they run behind the value addition. But due to 3-4 years of preparation, my basic was strong. So my more focus was on brainstorming. And ऐसे होता है कि when we study for mains, बहुत सारी चीजें याद नहीं आती है, that we are able to generate only 3 points, 4 points. We don't remember facts, we don't remember committees, we are not able to recall data, figures, etc. So मेरा फोकस यही था कि how can I recall maximum things and how can I write those things in a particular time. So मैंने brainstorming बहुत किया था. Every day I used to brainstorm for 1 hour, like whatever I have studied. Just take a syllabus point and close all your notes, and in the rough book I used to write down whatever I am able to recall of that syllabus point. And after writing for 5-10 minutes, I used to cross check it with my notes, and whatever the remaining parts, I used to revise them again. So consistently I have done that in the last attempt also, and in this attempt also. So उससे क्या हुआ कि मेंस में मुझे एक भी क्वेश्चन के लिए कभी दिक्कत नहीं आई कि what should I write here, what should I not write here. Though my speed was less, so I couldn't write 2-3 questions in GS1, but then also scored I 99 marks in GS1. So I think it is more about quality also, and quantity obviously you have to attempt the questions, but quality तभी improve होगा जब आपका memory बहुत strong बन गया है. You cannot go unprepared for the mains and think there at that time. In those 3 hours you cannot think. So जो भी thinking करना है, जो भी brainstorming करना है, जो भी analysis करना है, तो फिर वो पहले से मैंने करके रखा था. पहले से मैंने इंट्रोडक्शंस बना के रखे थे, पहले से ही कंक्लूजन्स बना के रखे थे, कमिटीज के रिपोर्ट पहले से ही मगअप करके रखे थे, बहुत सारे एसडीजीज, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के आर्टिकल, ये सारी चीजें प्री रेडी थी कि जब कोई भी टॉपिक आ जाए मेरे पास रेडी था कि आई एम गोइंग टू इंट्रोड्यूस विद दिस पैराग्राफ, आई एम गोइंग टू कंक्लूड विद दिस पैराग्राफ. इफ पंचायत राज पूछते तो फिर आई एम गोइंग टू यूज दिस कमिटी, दिस फैक्ट. सो इस हिसाब से मैंने पहले से मेरा सब कुछ रेडी था, एंड आई रिवाइज्ड इट ऑलमोस्ट 6 to 10 टाइम्स. सो फिर ऐसे हो गया था कि मुझे लिखने के लिए कभी दिक्कत नहीं आई मेंस में. तो फिर मेरा ये अप्रोच था.
I think you gave the mool mantra again, brainstorming. Dr. A.R. Khan sir used to say, I have seen many students when he used to speak that, don't revise, revisioning. I mean, close
Yes,
all
sir,
the
yes, sir.
and then revision in your mind. I think that is what brainstorming you are about to explain.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, coming to the next question, which is again related to mains, that is a paper of ethics. And since it has got 2 parts, part A and part B, I have seen many aspirants, they are shying away from practicing ethics, writing case studies on ethics. So my questions are 2. First, how you dealt with part A of the ethics, which is dealing with the questions related to emotional intelligence, attitude related questions, role of civil services in democracy and ethics in them, and case study. What was your approach to write the case studies, like stakeholder approach or whatever approach? Please share your strategy on that.
See, firstly, I think that there is undue fear regarding ethics in the public. Ethics is very interesting paper, and it has made technical due to, I think I say that whatever goes on in the market has made it technical, because me and my friends who have got good marks in ethics, we have not prepared it very technically, or we did not go into too much technical details. But my approach for solving first 13 questions, that 10 markers, वो ऐसा है कि every year there will be repeated questions. The theme of the question will be same. They will just change the question, but you have to write the same answer. So in all the papers of mains, it is the same. Like you can prepare it beforehand. Like for ethics also, I prepared it beforehand. Like if you talked about emotional intelligence, so I prepared it beforehand. Like emotional intelligence का question आएगा, तो फिर what should I write? मेरे पास पहले से ready था कि I'll write this introductions, I'll write this conclusion, I'll mention Swami Vivekananda, I'll mention this particular examples. So everything was ready with me. So what I worked on, कि how to realign my content with what they are asking, because everybody will have 2 pages notes of emotional intelligence. And those notes will be similar of all the people, just 19-20 का फर्क रहेगा, 10-20%. But the difference is how you present them and how you write them according to the question, what question is expecting from your side. So realigning is very important, realigning of your content. Like you must learn, or you must practice to change the language of your content according to the demand of the question, because content same ही रहेगा सबका, सब सेम बुक्स फॉलो करते हैं, सब सेम नोट्स निकालते हैं, उतना ज्यादा फर्क नहीं होता है. तो फिर वो एक अप्रोच था. और सेकेंडली ये था कि we know that the questions are repeated. Emotional intelligence questions, every year there will be a question. Probity in governance, there will be a question. RTI, there will be a question. Integrity, there will be a question. 3 codes, there will be a question. So value based question there will be. And more important thing I worked on, like if a question is on attitude, or if the question is on integrity, we tend to write only about integrity. But syllabus mentions that role of family, social institutions, and educational institutions in inculcating values. So integrity is one of the value, courage is one of the value. So whenever question is asked on integrity, courage, probity, these are the values. So we should mention this syllabus point, like how we can inculcate these values, because this is a value. And syllabus topic directly tells that role of family, social institution, and education. So whenever a question is on courage, we just tend to write about courage, 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 examples of courage, conclusion. But nowhere we mention role of family, role of educational institution, role of society. So I worked on interlinking the syllabus point with the question, so that my answer was holistic. So this was my approach for part 1.
Part 1. Okay.
And regarding
okay. Yes, part 2.
Yes. Yes. Regarding part 2, see, the coaching, all the coachings in the market, they have given a very rigid framework that you have to write stakeholders, you have to write ethical dilemmas, and then you have to continue. But due to this ethical framework, due to this framework, what has happened that people are not focusing on the demand of the question, like what this question is asking. Even if there are no many stakeholders involved, or the examiner is not interested in knowing the stakeholders, then also if you write stakeholders, then that is not useful. So your all the 6 case study answers should seem different, and they should not be monotonous, that in all the questions you are writing stakeholder, in all the questions you are ethical dilemma. So it is like you have already prepared those case studies. Yes, we have to prepare beforehand, but see, case study in the ethics syllabus itself, they tell that the paper will try to check our problem solving abilities and attitude. So they are focusing more on these values, like how you solve problem at that particular moment. So don't let them feel that you have prepared these case studies beforehand. There should be some spontaneity in your answering case studies, and that makes your answer different, because everybody, if writes same answer, they will know that you have already prepared this answer and you have just writing down whatever you have mugged up. But from case studies, they are trying to check how do you respond at that particular moment, how do you behave at that particular moment, what will be your spontaneous reaction, what are your values. So we have to focus more on these things. And 3-4 lines paragraph should be there in every case study regarding the peripheral values or peripheral things which you should address. Like if the question is about, if the case study is about corruption, then 1 paragraph there should be regarding the degrading moral standards of the society, how our inculcating of the values, nurturing of the values is important, how society is being more towards materialism and not towards ethical values. So इसके बारे में एक पैराग्राफ हमें मेंशन करना चाहिए as per the relevance of the question. तो फिर उससे एक होगा कि you are not only solving that case study, but you are also focusing on a larger good, like how these cases will not arise in future. So we have to focus on that aspects also.
Yes, I think once again, picking up your line that not going into the conventional approach, try to realign yourself as per the need, and then your spontaneous reactions.
Yes, sir.
Right. So now one of the again neglected areas, that is the paper of essay. What was your what I can say approach towards the essay? Did you write frequently essays, or you only like in your, because you have a long journey? So when you started, like just prior to mains, or in the entire preparation, you used to write on a periodic basis about the essays? What you did actually to tackle
in my first 2 attempts, I wrote almost 15-20. Also, I used to get reviews that you have good essay writing style and you have good hold over the topic, so you have to work more on the content. So there was no issue of the flow of the essay. There was no issue of the language of the essay. There was no issue of understanding the demand of the essay. And these three are very important things. Like you should understand what essay is trying to get out of you. Your language should be not, if it is not rosy, it should not be rosy, but it should be lucid and easy to understand. Like whenever you write one paragraph and you reread that paragraph, then you should clearly understand what you should have written and what you are trying to convey. It's not like the examiner will get time to read it again. So make sure that, so I made sure that whatever I write, that should be crystal clear and that should be self-explanatory. So in my 4th and 5th attempt, my approach was, I did not write full essays, but my approach was on writing paragraphs. Like I used to pick up topics from previous year questions, and I used to think, okay, what should be my introduction? I used to write introduction to that particular topic, because there is always a topic of digital technologies or artificial intelligence or cyber security or social media. So these topics are repeated frequently. So I used to write introductions on such topic, and I used to reread my introductions, whether how can I improve that introduction, like how should I catch the attention of the examiner, how should I write the conclusion, how should I make examiner happy that if he reads my conclusion at the end, he should be happy that yes, this guy has written very well and I should give 10 marks more than other people. So in my last 2 attempts, my focus was on this. And again, essay we can prepare beforehand. If we analyze the themes of the essay, there are repeated themes: health, education, economic justice, social justice, women, agriculture. So here we can make our content, we can make our introductions, we can make our conclusions, make case studies, etc. And we can use them in the essay, as I similarly told, that realigning with the essay topic. And a philosophical essay, there will be one philosophical essay definitely on the value system. Like values, they are checking your values. Either they are checking your courage, they are checking your perseverance, they are checking your integrity, or they will directly talk about simplicity. Simplicity is also one of the value. Or they will talk about directly the value system. So I had prepared very good material on humanity value, because the COVID case was going on and there were so many articles on humanity, how should we be humane, etc. So we had guessed that there should be something on the topic humanity, the value of humanity. And luckily, the same topic was asked in the examination. Like life is a long journey from human being to being human. So that is mostly about humanity. So I had prepared that topic beforehand, so I was able to write that topic properly. And it again varies for student. Like if you are not able to have a good content, work on content. If you are not good with the language, then work on language. If you are not able to maintain a flow in your essay, then work on the flow. So essay is very personal thing and it is very specific thing. The preparation of essay should be individualistic. It should be according to you. And one more thing that helped me was reading the essays of other people, not for their style, but for content. Like if we take from newspaper, we do not know how to use those case studies. But if a topper has already used something that fits in our mind, So I used to read the essays of the topper. So that worked for me in essay, and I scored pretty well in essay this year. I scored somewhere 137 marks. So that is around one of the topper marks itself.
Yes, yes. I think 145 something is the maximum this year.
Yes, yes.
Now,
Yes.
one more thing I want to ask you with regard to essay. There is a common perception in the minds of students, aspirants, that we should use some cases, like some story, some anecdote prior to starting the essay. So do you think that approach is right? It keeps examiner engaged?
Again, it depends on how well you are able to present that anecdote. Like I myself had started my essay with one anecdote, the humanity value wala essay. But
Can
in
you
the GS,
share that
actually,
anecdote?
yes, the question was about humanity. Like human life is a long journey from being human to being human. So there was a one photojournalist. His name was Kevin Carter, and he had gone to Sudan to study the famine in the Sudan.
Yes.
So there he had clicked a photograph of a toddler, and that toddler was being chased by some vulture, and that photograph had got so many prizes and acclamations. But how I wrote that essay was like, the Kevin Carter, the photojournalist, when he got the prize, the interviewer asked him, like, how many vultures were there? So that Kevin Carter said that there was one vulture, but the interviewer said that no, there were two vultures, uh, telling that the photographer itself was the second vulture, who did not show the value of humanity and compassion, and he was more focused on clicking the photographs and not helping that small kid. So this was my introduction. I had framed it in a better way that time, so that I showed that how humanity, the value of humanity is lacking, and how it should be a long journey from this. So I had
I think it's a
wrote this.
wonderful analogy that you used in your essay, and that's why I think you reached up to 137. Because
Yes,
this
yes,
part is very good. It makes an impetus into the mind of the examiner that this guy is very sensitive, and that
yes,
issue, I
yes,
saw that picture apparently, to
yes,
which you
yes.
are talking about. Now, the last phase of our interview, this session, is about the personality test. You appeared twice, right? So, how was the board? I mean, there is a phobia into the minds of common people that board is little, tough on you. So, is it something like that? What kinds of basic questions they have asked about your background? What were the types of
Yeah.
questions that you have received from the board?
First of all, I would like to tell that the board, they are the cordial people I have ever met. In Delhi, or the people they are the people of so high stature, and they want to select us. I scored less mark in last interview. I scored only 158, but that does not mean that they were not cordial. Regardless of how many marks they award you, they are very cordial. They are trying to bring in best of you, because this year I scored 173, 175 somewhere, so I improved my score. So this year also board was cordial, but last year I could not hit the sixes on the balls, on the simple full tosses they had given to me. So they try to bring in best to you. If you are not able to answer properly, they will give you more chances. Till the last minute they will keep giving you chances. So the board is very cordial. So there is a perception that they are strict, just because there are many videos on YouTube of the mock interviews which grill the students, etc. But the actual interview is really very different, and people think that the mocks on the YouTube or the videos on YouTube are real. So I want to tell them that वो झूठ है, वो सिर्फ mock interviews है. लोगों को सिर्फ व्यूज चाहिए, ये चाहिए, वो चाहिए. इसके लिए दे आस्क कुछ भी क्वेश्चंस, वियर्ड से क्वेश्चंस, बट इंटरव्यू में ऐसे नहीं होता है. एंड रिगार्डिंग माय बोथ ऑफ द इंटरव्यू एक्सपीरियंसेस, they try to know you in as less time as they can. So their questions are very broad sometimes, and sometimes they ask very specific things. Like I am from Latur, so this year they asked me about Latur earthquake of 1993. So they are just trying to build repo with me, or concentration, or conversation with me. Like, what is my approach? They just simply ask, like, Vinayak, Latur was famous for that earthquake. What do you think? Have things changed? Do you think that government was ready? Then I told that government was not ready. Then they said that is government ready now? What changes government has made? So it was like a conversation. And also they asked questions on hobbies. Like they asked me regarding one thing, like they asked me, I had put that I love dogs, etc. So they had asked me one question like, Vinayak, tell me one thing uh, which you learned from dogs. They asked me this question this year. So I thought for a moment, and I told that, sir, if I had to recall now, or I had to learn from my experience, I will tell that from dogs I have learned to love unconditionally, because dogs do not expect anything from us. No matter if you feed them, if you do not feed them, you hit them, you do not hit them, you keep them in house, you keep them out of house, if you keep the, if you take them away, if you they do not take with you, whenever you come from outside to your home, the most happiest uh, person, or most happiest living entity will be your dog. And I have learned this from dogs, that they teach you to love unconditionally, and they were very happy to know this answer. They said that we had asked this question to 2 3 guys, and they told that loyalty, etc., but your answer is different, and they told me that your answer is different, and we are impressed.
I liked your answer too. I think your dog is going to miss you when you go to Lavasana.
Yes, I have already started missing him.
Okay. So, what was the role of KSG? Since we are culminating this, so I just have 2 3 more questions. How do you find the questions and whatever content KSG tried to provide you? Is it of any help to you? I just want your honest answer on this.
Definitely, I don't think that there will be any topper who will say that the experience at KSG or with the Khan sir has not helped him. There will not be a single topper. So my feeling and my experience has also been the same. I have given 2 mocks at KSG last year also, this year also. The most important thing which I liked, that in other mocks people just give superficial things like, okay, your confidence is good, okay, your this answer was good, or you should have answered this properly. But the way Khan sir tells you about your strengths, even I did not know prior to appearing that mock that I had these many qualities. So Khan sir makes you feel good about yourself, and it is very important to feel good about yourself. Only after that people will feel good about you. First you have to feel good about yourself, and that is the best part of Khan sir. And one more thing, that before the interview itself, at the night of the earlier night of the interview, Khan sir sends a voice message of his understanding about our interview. And that really helps, because in the both of the interview, Khan sir told me like, Vinayak, this is your these are your strengths, these are your weaknesses. And the list of strengths he gives us is way more than the list of weaknesses, so that boosts our confidence, and that helped me also. And I followed this approach in this interview also. I gave mock this year also. And the kind of question Khan sir had asked me in last interview and this interview, uh, regarding dogs, they asked me this year. This year one of the panel member was there, he asked me question regarding petrochemical engineering, oil sector in India. And the oil prices were rising, and why we are importing oil, and why our oil quality is not good. These questions were asked by one panel member, and the same questions were asked in the interview this year to me. And in the mock I could not answer one question, and which was very important question. But the same question was asked. I'll tell the question also. Like one of the panel member had asked me a question like, uh, there are 2 types of crude, like Dubai crude, Brent crude, West Texas intermediate crude. So he had asked me like, जो ब्रेंट क्रूड होता है और वेस्ट टेक्सास क्रूड होता है, दैट इज वेरी फार फ्रॉम इंडिया, दैट इज इन द नॉर्दर्न सी, लाइक अबव द यूएसए एंड यूरोप. तो फिर हमें दुबई क्रूड मिलता है, दुबई क्रूड वी कैन टेक चीपर, and it is nearer to us also. Then also, why do we keep buying Brent crude and West Texas crude? So he had asked me this question. So I had in the mock, I had just given superficial answer that diversification of resources or energy security, etc. But he had told me the proper reason that the oil industry in India and the refineries in India were built in 1940, 1950, 1960, and they were built in such a way that they could function on the oil taken from those wells and the purity of that crude oil, and they cannot function on the Dubai crude or the crude of less quality, and that is the reason we still keep buying this crude. And the same question was asked to me in the interview, and I directly told this answer, and they were very happy to know that I knew this answer. So KSG was helpful to me in the interview preparation, very much helpful, and I am very grateful to Khan sir for it.
I think that must be Dr. Rana who gave you this answer. This is my prediction, I think.
Yes, yes. I don't remember his name, sorry, but yes.
Okay, so Vinayak, now what cadre you are about to get? I'm very curious to know. This dog lover is going to which state?
Mostly I'll get into the Indian Administrative Services with Maharashtra cadre.
Oh, that's good. So it's your home cadre what you are landing at. So it will be good for
mostly it is my home cadre, and mostly I'll get that. But we don't know until and unless cadre allocation comes.
Yeah, these are just it will come. It will come soon, and I pray that you will get your home cadre. It will be the biggest achievement.
Cadre was never an issue, or cadre was never a choice for me, because if we go from this journey, and this struggle is so long for 5 years, at the time of result I was like, bus list mein aa jaye bas. So I cannot complain about cadre and all these things. So on 24th September I was praying that just get me a job, like give me the last rank of the list, but just bring me into the list. And I am happy that I scored a good rank, but I am not at all complaining about the cadre. No matter which cadre I would have got, I would have been still happiest.
Yeah, I think there is a famous saying in Hindi, अगर आदमी को उसकी जन्मभूमि ही कर्म भूमि मिल जाए तो सोने पे सुहागा होता है. So I think that will fall for you.
Yes,
or my last thing is, can you please sensitize the upcoming students about this examination? I mean, there is a misconception into the mind of people that 6, 7, 9 month journey will be enough. So like you have to be in advance while preparing to this examination, at least 2 years. It is my prediction that 2 years will be there. So are you in sync with me? I mean, what is your future?
I'll advise the students that you are choosing a very competitive field. First of all, only 1%, not even 1% of the Indian population prepares for this exam. So this field has to be immensely or fiercely competitive. So इस field में success की guarantee नहीं है. First thing you have to remember that success is not guaranteed here. Secondly, there are people who claim that they studied for 1 year, 6 months, 1.5 years. But I think that to complete the syllabus, to read everything in detail from prelims to mains, essays, optional, everything, if we have to prepare it thoroughly according to the standards of the UPSC and according to the demand of UPSC, it takes at least 12 to 14 months to prepare one time. That I am telling. And this is from my experience, and I cannot tell that you cannot clear in first attempt. And I think that those people who clear in first attempt, 99% of those people who get selected in first attempt, they have been preparing from their first year of the graduation, or they have been preparing from the 11th standard, 12th standard, or their schooling have been in such a way that it was in sync with their UPSC syllabus. They have been reading newspaper from the childhood. So there are many factors, but there are only 1% of such people. So if 200 people are clearing in first attempt, there are only 2-3 people who have really cleared it in 1 year. But other first attempt students who are clearing in first attempt, they have been preparing for minimum 3 years. That is my observation in this field. Minimum 3 years, I am telling. So, but also in this field, you should have a plan B ready with you, because yahan pe every year only 700-800 people will get selected. So in 5 years, there will be only 4,000 people who are going to get selected. So having plan B is very realistic and practical thing. So don't shy away from having plan B, because I have seen overconfident people who say that this is my only plan, करेंगे तो यही करेंगे, ऐसे नहीं है. You have to be practical. अच्छे से सोचो, 2-3 साल अच्छे से प्रिपेयर करो, अटेम्प्ट दे दो. If you get selected, well and good. अगर नहीं होता है तो फिर shift to your plan B. And as you have already prepared 3 years full time, there is no need to prepare full time again. Because in those 3 years, prepare in such a way that you have everything ready with you, so that you can shift to the plan B and you can study 2-3 hours per day. You can study on weekends 8-10 hours, and you can easily go for the exam and you can clear this exam. So don't have this misconception that I'll clear this in 6 months. This guy has cleared in 1 year. This guy has cleared in 10 months. So I don't think that is real. And there will be some cases, but they will be then like they must be having superpowers, or they must be having that much intelligence in them. I don't know. But for an average candidate like me, I am an average candidate. So it takes 2 years, 2 to 3 years. So that is realistic.
Okay. So thank you, Vinayak. I learned 2-3 things from you today. First is brainstorming. Second, I think it is again similar with Khan sir's line. He used to say, विद्यार्थी से परीक्षार्थी बने, and you also said that you need to be examinee.
Yes.
Then student only. And third is realigning your strategy whenever it is required, be it in answer or ethics or case studies, with different flavors.
Also, sir, I want to tell students one more thing, that
Yeah.
don't run behind toppers, not only me or not only any other topper, because what people try to do, that this topper has scored this much, I will follow this topper has done this, I will follow this. So every year there are going to be 700 toppers, so you cannot have 700 strategies. So just take them as an inspiration. Just go through their notes for once, and or the answer copies once, and then check where you stand. Don't blindly follow any topper, not me also. Don't follow me also, or don't follow any other topper also, because उससे क्या होता है कि एक बहुत ज्यादा इनसिक्योरिटी और सेल्फ डाउट आ जाता है. और यहाँ पे ऐसे भी लोग हैं जिन्होंने बहुत सिंपल आंसर लिखे हैं, फिर भी वो सेलेक्ट हो गए. तो फिर ऐसा नहीं है कि योर आंसर हैज टू बी वेरी डायनामिक और बहुत ज्यादा कंटेंट, ऐसे नहीं है, बिकॉज दिस आर जनरल स्टडीज पेपर. सो ये एक चीज कहना चाहता था कि टॉपर्स के पीछे बहुत ज्यादा मत भागो, मेरे पीछे भी मत भागो, किसी के पीछे मत भागो, खुद सिलेबस और प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन के पीछे भागो, यूपीएससी आपके पीछे भागो.
चलिए, बहुत अच्छी आपकी एडवाइस है और बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका समय हमारे लिए निकालने के लिए. वी आर थैंकफुल दैट KSG, Khan sir always used to say good students choose KSG, and I think Vinayak is one such example. Thank you, Vinayak.
Yes.
All the best.
Thank you so much, and thank you Khan study group and Khan sir especially for motivating me when I was not performing well in the interview. And all the best to all of you. Take care.
Thank you.